award-winning artists. And at the end of the week, there's a big awards ceremony. People call it the Oscars for writers and artists. And it's a big red carpeted event, and that's streamed live online at writersofthefuture.com. So if you go to writersofthefuture.com, you'll see right there on the homepage, there'll be a button that will take straight to watch the event. And that's going to be on the 22nd of October, and it's 7 p.m. Pacific time.
And what's great about it, too, is that we have some of the top writers and illustrators in the industry. I don't know how many of you are science fiction, fantasy enjoyers yourself, but I'm just going to read down some of the names of this is the current volume of Writers of the Future that's out there. But the judges that will be there, like Kevin Anderson, he writes in the Dune prequels, he writes all those. We'll have David Farland. He's written a couple of the Star Wars books. Eric Flint in the 1632 series. Brian Herbert, who's the son of Frank Herbert, who wrote Dune. He'll be there. We got Todd McCaffrey, who's the son of Anne McCaffrey, wrote all the Dragon Rider series. Brandon Sanderson, who's very popular right now as a fantasy writer. Robert J. Sawyer, who's the Dean of Science Fiction and Fantasy in Canada. And John Williams from Australia. Chris Rust. We've got about 20 different judges. Nadia Korafor, she writes several stories now with the Black Panther series. She writes for Shuri. And Tim Powers wrote the novel On Stranger Tides, which was made into the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. These are all judges who are there. They themselves are all international best-selling authors, but they're also going to be teaching the winners, and they'll be at the awards ceremony presenting. We also have some of the most popular illustrators out there. We've got one everybody's pretty much familiar with, Larry Elmore, who did all the Dragonlance artwork, and he did all the original Dungeons and Dragons artwork. We have Dan Dos Santos, he's got the next podcast that's coming up this week. It goes up on Monday. We got Sean Tan, he won an Oscar about 5 years ago for one of his stories. He was a winner about 20 years ago. But anyway, so it's major players in science fiction and fantasy who really enjoy celebrating winners and help get them started into their own careers. We also have probably about 20 to 30 media that will come and cover the red carpet to interview all the winners, all the judges, and celebrity presenters who will be there to celebrate that evening. So this will be the first time we've had 2 years with the winners. We've always had the 12 writer winners and 12 illustrator winners, but this year we're going to have 24 and 24. So that becomes its own, which Emily's handling that one there, working out the actual scripting the event so that we know what we're going to have and how to do it so we don't go way over time. But we have this event you see here. We had one theater that we had there that we had, I think we had a few thousand people at that event. It's very, very popular. It is, like you said, it's like the Oscars of science fiction and fantasy. So that's what this is about. But the thing too is that the book that we select each year, if you like science fiction and fantasy, again, this is volume 36, which was released earlier this year. These are the winning authors and artists that are selected by our judges, who are themselves the best of the best in writers and artists. So they're the ones that are selecting who's going to be, the next major players in science fiction and fantasy. So that's why it's the best-selling anthology that exists out there for science fiction and fantasy, and that's why we recommend that people really get it. The people that enter the contest read the stories, so they know what's being looked for, but also it gives you what's the new trends coming out in science fiction and fantasy, because these are the guys that are going to be in the major bookstores 5-10 years down the road. So we definitely encourage, and we got Father's Day coming up in a couple of days too, so it makes a great gift for Dad. So absolutely.
Get out and buy some books, people.
Yeah,
I gripe about this all the time. Matter of fact, I was griping at a gentleman the other day. A friend of mine lives in Mobile, where another friend of ours lives, and I was quite. He's going on and on about it. I don't know why people don't make more audiobooks. I said, because most people still like the tactile feel of reading. They just like to feel the book in there. I said, it's like my wife. She prefers a hard copy over a soft copy. But I said, I gave her one of my pads. I said, look, there's like 200 books on here. You can order as many as you want from Amazon. And I said, I don't like it. I said, you don't have to wear your glasses with this, baby. You can just open it up and zoom it. She don't have nothing to do with it. I'd rather read that small print and have to wear glasses than to have that pad in her hand. She just prefers the physical book. I remember when she made me go out and buy all Anne Rice's Witches books as they came out. I said, baby, these books ain't exactly cheap here, chick. Because back then, in case y'all know, people leather-bound Anne Rice book back in the day, it was about $125 a book. And we're talking 30 years ago or 25 years ago. Today, $125 is like $25. But back then, it was a little different. But it was a good collection, and she still has them. And it's nice. I mean, we've often had many, many books in the house over the years. Before Katrina, we had well over 5,000. Wow. Well, we had a Linden library we had set up for some of the research we did. So we told people you want to come in and drop it. A lot of neighborhoods in the South, people always think, oh, Southerners are illiterate and don't like to read, but they don't really understand the South. Most of the really nice neighborhoods here have little libraries on the corners. They're just little book boxes, nothing fancy, just a book box, 20, 30 books in it, but they'll be like one a block or one every other block. So you ride through the neighborhood, stop, look, and if it's a closed neighborhood or if it's just a neighborhood that has like an HPC or something, everybody will have a key for it, but most of them don't even have keys. It seems like most people are real honest. They'll put them, bring them, swap them. So I tell people all the time, if you really like to read, there's several neighborhoods you can live in down here, like Watercolor or East Hill in Pensacola. It's just part of the neighborhood. This neighborhood, East Hill, has 200 of these boxes, by the way. Wow. They also have 11 parks in their neighborhood. 11. Nice. And then the whole backside of the neighborhood is on the Pensacola Bay, which is just stunningly gorgeous. It's just a great place to live, and believe it or not, it's not outrageously expensive. Don't get me wrong. You can find outrageously expensive there if that's what you're looking for, but it's a really more upper middle class neighborhood. Most of the homes run in the $200,000 to $400,000 price range, which in California is probably like a pebble on the beach or something.
Yeah,
yeah. But out here it's a little different. Just like my sister's got a 5,000 square foot home in Atlanta. She only paid $300,000 for it. Mm-hmm. Down where I live, oh no, that would have been $2.5 million. You're not gonna get it for any cheaper than that. Matter of fact, before Katrina, where I live right now, you couldn't have got a lot for less than $1 million. It just wasn't going to happen. But after Katrina showed how much more you could get in the house, that changed. Yeah, see, where I'm sitting right now, I would be 8 foot underwater still.
Wow.
The water was here during Katrina. Yeah, that's why my house. That's why the studio in the house has 12-foot ceilings on them. The code required that we had to be 22 feet from the tip of the house to the ground to insure the place. And the only reason it didn't get tore down is because it survived the storm. It actually survived Betsy, Camille, and Katrina. That's one of the reasons I like it. It seems to be an interesting thing. What do you mean, Chris? No, I don't think it's general admission. I think you got to know somebody to get into this award ceremony. No, I don't think they're going to be selling tickets at the door. I'll ask, but I don't think. Whoever wrote that was just goofy. But no, I don't think they're going to be selling tickets at the door. Are y'all going to be selling tickets? No, I didn't think so.
It's all invite only.
The winners and your family and the judges and the celebrity presenters. That's why we make a big deal of a great broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube so that people can actually see what it is. But it's
well, if they win the contest, that's how they can get here and get into the event. There you go. You want to come? Start submitting.
Yeah, matter of fact, we got several authors on the network, and I give them shit all the time about this. So I was talking to one of them yesterday, Jenny DeSacio. She hosts Chasing Prophecy, and I said, Jenny, why don't you submit? And she's like, I didn't know I could. She said, doesn't cost it? No. I said, okay. I was on her show. I gave her a whole rundown on her show, but I said, no, you don't have to pay anything. Just write it. I said, I forgot how many words it was, but you can go look on our website. I said, it tells you. And I said, you just write it, you send it in. I said, you know what? Your little cute blonde self-it's not going to help you. She's like, what do you mean? I said, because they're not going to know who you are when they judge it. I said, it's one of my favorite parts of it. Matter of fact, we were doing a lecture in New Orleans, and I was telling somebody else about it. I said, no, it's just such a nice thing. I said, You send it in. If it's good enough, I said, I don't know who's telling you if it's good enough to go to judges. Not my job. I said, but I said, once it gets to them, they don't know anything other than the story. I said, do you know how unique that is in the United States today? Or for that matter, anywhere else? I said, usually either they want you to give them some money to get your story even looked at, or the judges want to judge not just the story, but you as well. And for whatever reasons, I said, but they don't do it like that there. I said, you submit it. If it makes it, then nobody knows what it is. It gets a number. I said, they read it, and then it goes from there. I said, it's pretty much the same with all of it. I said, it's just such a unique way of doing things. And everybody should do it like that. I was talking with, who was it? Was it Christopher? He was talking to one of the guys over at Greenlee the other day, and I was like, man, I don't know why y'all do it like that. He's like, Joe. I said, he told me I was playing favorites. I said, that's not. I said, I like John and Emily. I bring him on a lot. I said, we don't work with any of their authors like I said we do with y'all and a couple other publishing companies. Matter of fact, it's a big company. I'm not going to promote your name, but if I give them their way, they would book every show I have nonstop for the next 3 years. I'm like, no. I said, first off, you don't even know what kind of guests I like, you know what kind of topics I like. And I said, since I do such a wide range of topics, I like to pick my own guests. It's just one of them things. Besides, when you other people pick guests, you never know what kind of crazy you're going to get.
Yeah.
One of the cool things also about the contest is that once we find out who the winners are, like this year we've got a winner, I think, from Vietnam, from Portugal, from Iran, UK, from South Africa,
the
Philippines. Yeah. They're from all over the world, and everybody's got a fair shake at it because the judges have no idea. It's just how good is the story or how good is the art, and there's not even that the art has to be a certain type of art. It's just got to be illustration, which means it tells a story. And so whether it's just when you look at the art, which we've gone over it before too, but you see that in all the books, one thing that's unique, what we have is the front of each book has all the illustrations for all the stories in there in color, for color, and you see like there's from all different styles of art. This guy here is from Iran, and this one's from Vietnam. It's just amazing. So nobody else does this. This is the only book that gets published that has 12 new writers and 12 new artists every year published, because all the other science fiction magazines and books have to rely upon the established authors to get the sales, because they want the name on the cover to be able to do it. So this cover here has got, he's got the one named L. Ron Hubbard, who's the one who sponsors it, and he has sponsored it now. We're on year 38. But all these winners that are in here, it gives them their first introduction to professional world of science fiction and fantasy as a published author or published illustrator. And it's like, in order to, how do you get it? It's like, in order to be able to make it in there, you need to have something in order to make it. But how do you get in there to get it without having something to make it? Becomes a bit of a catch-22. And this gives these 12 and 12 that introduction, which nobody else does that. Some of the big magazines will publish one new person a year. Everybody else is all the proven major authors that are out there that they use to be able to sell their magazines. And this book here, we just got an award yesterday. Mm-hmm. Forward Indie Book Award for science fiction, and it was also a finalist for anthologies. So our books routinely get major recognitions as the best of the best, and there's a reason for that, because they really are.
Don't worry, people. In October, we'll probably give away around 10, 15 copies of it, and during December. But a gentleman the other day out of New York wrote to me. He's sending me volume 1 through 10.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Those are hard to find these days.
That's what he said. He said, look, out of my personal collection, he asked me what I was going to do with them. I said, I don't know. What kind of shape? He said, they're in excellent shape, Joe. He said, they've only ever been read like twice. I said, okay. He said, I know you like to give books away, so that's why I'm asking. I do like to give books. I can't help myself. Matter of fact, I got a stack somewhere around here and get ready to give away. And I probably will give some of these away. I don't know. It depends. I mean, if he sends them the way he said he sent them, I might keep it for my private collection. If not, I may give it away. But anyway, it goes. We're going to be giving a lot of books away, guys, and I promise y'all, when about 2 weeks before they go into the award ceremony, I'll get a couple of books and I'll start sending them out. And so just so y'all know, come tune in so you get an idea of what you're going to be, the people you're going to be looking at and seeing. It'll be good for y'all and read. Nobody reads enough. I do, because I got to read too much other stuff. So I just let me rephrase that. I don't do enough reading for pleasure. I do more reading for work. But sometimes that's good.
Yeah, reading is way cool. And Father's Day is, I think, that's the second most popular reading holiday in the United States. The most popular is obviously Christmas, but yes. Because it's like the start of summer, and so it just kicks off the reading, and so that's just something that, when Emily and I both read a lot. I read probably a little bit more, and I've been reading science fiction and fiction books since I was a pup.
My wife outreads me 3-1, easy.
Wow.
That she reads like a demon. She don't read as fast as she used to, but she's like, I took 3 speed reading courses in private school because of some of the stuff I was into. Which, by the way, I don't recommend that for anybody who wants to read for pleasure. You lose stuff.
Yeah.
There's words you kind of skip over things as you're going. So I don't recommend that for anybody who wants to read for pleasure. Now, for work, it's different because a lot of the words you're skipping over don't have anything to do with what's going on. But she's just like a demon reader. You should get a stack of books. I remember one summer I said, look, I bought like 25 books. We got online, I ordered away. I said, okay, this will hold you off at least for a month. About 9 days. About 9 days. I was like, and these are one little books. I mean, we're not like talking like 200 words. We're like 500, 700, 800,000. I'm like, Jesus, woman. Wow. I said, take a break, take a breath. This is just, but she enjoys it. And my son doesn't like to read as much as he likes to write, which is good since his dad can't barely write his name. I was telling John, I'm about halfway through this whatever this thing is I'm writing. My problem is I got to keep going back and correcting the grammar and correcting this, and then I'll go read it like 3 times, and then I want to go change stuff. So I'm not patient enough to be a writer. I'm just saying.
Well, one thing you can actually do, though, is if you write this stuff, we have the Writers of the Future forum that you can join, and you can send it in, and you have other writers, both as winners as well as other writers that along your same type of stuff, and they'll critique and they'll give you different ideas and different suggestions and stuff, because nobody's into shaming. In fact, we even have one of the policies on the forum, actually anywhere on the Rise of the Future site, is if anybody gives somebody a hard time, they're booted out. They're actually banned from Writers of the Future. So that's something that, you're totally welcome to do that. Anybody can.
I was showing 2 of my friends the other day how to sign up for the course because they were asking me about it. And then two of the authors that actually, one has 4 books out, one has 3 books out, and they were asking me. I said I can't see how it could hurt. I said I don't know how famous your books are. I said, but I don't see where it can hurt to go over the course. So I know Jenny said she's going to sign up, and I think Chris said he's signing up. And,
the good thing about the course, though, is that even if you've already put books out and you could be a professional, you could be a brand new writer, amateur, but the course it's set at your own pace. You can go back and forth on it, and you can pull. If you're already stuck, you can just pull out the parts that you want that are going to help you.
And we did it also so that even if you don't speak English as your primary language, everything is done with. Everything's got the transcripts for it, so you can just put it into Google Translate and get it into your native language too. So I know that your show here gets listened to 100 different countries. So anybody who are English is second language, you can actually take these course transcripts and convert them into your language and then read along with it.
Yeah, the Wednesday show y'all going to be on, as far as I know, it goes to every country on the planet, including North Korea. It's funny. We were talking about this the other day. There's 11 listeners, and there was 5 listeners in North Korea, and now there's 11. So you got to know, just like the audience we have in Venezuela, which is about 100 people, it can only be high-end people that are listening to us. I doubt anybody else even can get access to it. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing because they're loyal listeners, whoever they are. And a friend of mine said, maybe it's Kim Jong-un. I said, I don't care who it is. And But they listen to the ones in North Korea listen to 3 particular shows. One of them is a centralist, but the other 2 are very heavy paranormal shows. So, I don't know. It's a thing. In Venezuela, they listen to quite a few shows. And I've got a cousin down there who's a mayor of a town, which somehow he's managed to go unscathed to all the stuff that's been going on down there. But he's a heavy reader. Matter of fact, just a couple months we were talking about y'all. And he's like, man, send me some books. Obviously, they're having a hard time getting books down there right now.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't care what language you're in. I'll learn a different language if I have to. He speaks Spanish, French, and English, I think. So he's really, really enjoyed it. He said these days, because of all the stuff that's going on down there, that's pretty much all they got time. They got so much time now that, anywhere they can find something to read, that's what they're doing. He said, because there's not much in the way of television or radio or things like that right now.
He's the mayor in a town in Venezuela?
Yeah, it was a resort community before all the craziness went down. Him and a few others are just waiting for things to swing back around down there. But, you never know how that kind of stuff's going to go. So, but they're all, he said that, they're always looking for stuff, and they do library raids, is what they call it. They can find any libraries anywhere. They'll call around, or they'll send people looking for books and to see if they can find them somewhere. That's just a shame that you've even got to do that. It reminds me of when Genghis and them were riding and burning down all the libraries across the world. I know why they burn libraries. I just don't understand why you'd want to do that. Knowledge is a hard thing to keep, and when you start just wiping it out for the sake of wiping it out, I mean, come on. And some of us just like to enjoy it. Yeah. See, I would have personally loved to just have been able to visit the Library of Alexandria and just walk around. I've been known to do, especially when I was younger, I'd go to Tulane University and just go sit in their library and just see what they had in it. Stop and talk with people, read some stuff. It's a very interesting place. They got a lot of stuff in it besides just books. I mean, there's a lot of maps and all kinds of stuff that I'm interested in. But I tell people all the time, go read it. And, I know people don't even go to their local libraries like they used to, but I try to get them to go. They're out there, they exist. We have several big, huge ones down here. The one in New Orleans is massive. I mean, I think it's 180 acres. Nice. You could spend days wandering around in it. And of course, they give you videos. You can take out videos and stuff like that, and all kind of other stuff, and maps, documents. They got it all. It's just a great place to hang out. So people read, do more. Yeah. As y'all can see, I got the Writers of the Future contest up there with a few rules. This is easy, people. I'm not in front of the screen right now, but you can click and go through this pretty easy. It doesn't take rocket science to go to the site. They have a very clean, well-managed site. It functions well. There's not any big headaches in the site or anything. I know sometimes when we're perusing sites, there's Mr. Hubbard himself. As you can see, guys, I'm talking and I'm perusing, and you see it's just clicking through. No, before anybody asks, that's not Emily.
I did not win the Illustrators of the Future.
No, because last time somebody asked me if it was you, and I wasn't sure at first. I'm like, who are you talking about? I guess we've been going through pictures like this, and I didn't realize. And I said, I said, I know she's there, but I mean, I don't know if that was actually her. And then when I went back and looked, I said, no, that wasn't her.
No.
I was like, no. She's much cuter than that woman was. Whoever, I'm not hating. I don't know who it was. I don't want to hate on anybody.
No, she's a sweetie.
Yes, and look at all these books up here, guys. These are all just different years. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, different years. Okay. So, look, I mean, there's so many stories here.
Yeah, all those front ones you see there, those 3 books there, those were all paintings done by Frank Frazetta.
No.
And above that as well, these guys did all the Conan books, but those 3, and then the 2 above it, they're also written by painted by Frazetta. He was an avid fan of Illustrators of the Future, and he was a contest judge up until he passed away. And it was amazing when he would come to the awards events. You'd have ravers just kind of like, it's Frank Frazetta. They'd whisper and just they'd hush them over. That was.
I think one of his originals just went for like $5.4 million at an auction.
That's that's amazing when they do that. It's a shame artists have to wait till they die to really get it.
Yeah. But he was very popular, and he got hit a lot because of how he did his paintings. And it's interesting because he said, people said, well, his women are always too, buxom, and they're too much body to them. And he said, I paint how I see people. He sees people being full of life and full of alive, and he's just his the dynamics of his paintings are just unique, and that's what makes him such a famous illustrator.
There's nothing wrong with voluptuous women, people. That's, I know y'all want to be body shaming people, but there ain't nothing wrong with voluptuous women.
No.
All right.
You don't want them kind that you can break. Let's be honest. Before anybody comments to me, y'all know what I meant. Damn it. Wait, we just went through there. Where was that? No,
yeah.
Here we go. Right.
This is a free online course now. This is Emily actually scripted it. So why don't you just briefly cover it again here?
Well, yeah, this is the free online writing workshop. So it's a course. It varies on how long it takes, depending on amateur, professional. It can take up to 20 or more hours to get through.
Idiot like me, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
But it takes you through everything from doing research and then into how to start a story, how to write the middle, how to write the ending, how to write dialogue and narration. How to end a story, how to write suspense, and then it's basically a series of videos and essays and then practical assignments, and it just walks you through. And at the end of the course, if you follow all of the assignments, you should have a short story by the end of the course.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, it was trying, people. I'm just saying. But also another nice feature to it is you can go back and forth.
Yeah, and then you have instruction there. The videos are with Dave Farland. Orson Scott Card wrote Ender's Game, and then Tim Powers, who you heard about earlier, he wrote On Stranger Tides, which became the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
If you scroll down this page, you can see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there they are right there.
There they are.
Yeah, I've seen all these videos. Guys, I'm telling you, this course is easy, it's nice, it's functional. I do really like the fact, because the first one I did, I got halfway through it, and then for some reason I must have deleted, I don't know, anyway, I had to re-register, but I was about halfway through it again, and I was in the middle of writing something because Emily was giving me trouble in the last show, so I was going back and forth. So then I realized, I had just forgot whatever I had been reading a couple of days earlier. Then I realized when I went back on the site, I just clicked back, and it took me right back to where I wanted to go. So that's really a nice feature, especially for people like me who want to go back and reread it 3 or 4 times. And one of the people, if I read something 3 or 4 times, it's in my head for life.
Yeah.
It'll never go away. I'll just access it, and then. But it's just a nice way of having it, and it functions. It's clean. It's easy. Well, I'm not saying it's easy to write, people, because trust me, it's hard for me. It's not hard for everybody. It's hard. I got, I know people and got friends that have put out 20 and 30 books. And people like Nick Redfern, I think, has got like 44 out now. But he does like a 9 to 5 job. He said he gets up in the morning at 9, starts writing, and quits at 5. I couldn't do that if I tried. I would commit suicide. Martha and I would have to take a vacation after that. But it's
also, when you get to the end of the course, you get a certificate, and each quarter, for anybody who completes the course and maybe they have further questions or they want to speak to one of the judges, we do like a live Q&A every quarter with one of the judges. Dave Farland will be doing 2 live Q&As on July 9th and July 10th for anybody who finished the course and has some additional questions. So another benefit. All of it's free. It's all.
Trying to finish it.
Yeah. But definitely, anybody that finishes by the end of this month then can sign up for a Zoom interview, which will be. And Dave, even though we say it's only going to be an hour, last time we went for 2 hours because he made sure he wanted to answer every question that somebody asked.
Yeah.
And he just motored through it, but it was amazing. We had the 2 shows, one on one Friday night and the other one Saturday afternoon, so that we could have the people from Asia would be able to attend the one on Friday night, and then on Saturday afternoon we had everybody in the United States and throughout UK be able to attend. So it just worked out really good. We're really trying to, because this is the original thing as set up by Mr. Hubbard back in '83. We're really trying to provide that platform for the aspiring writer and artist for their works to be seen and acknowledged. And we're trying to give all these different opportunities to help that, because the schools and education tends to cut this out more and more. This has become quite an accepted substitute because there's no alternate, what are we trying to do here? It's strictly about recognizing and honoring the arts and creative writing. That cover that you've been showing back and forth on there that's going to be the cover of the next volume 38, which releases at the Rise of Future event that you'll be attending in the end of October.
Yes, people, they're letting me loose at this event. Y'all should definitely be watching TV. Carla, no, actually, I wanted to answer that question before I get. No, it's taking me a long time, but that's because I stop and mess around, and then I forget for 3 or 4 days, and I go back. honestly, if you're bright and intelligent, you can go through this course really fast, easly under a week if you want to.
Yeah.
You could probably do it in a day or two if you really wanted to if you've got the time and you really just want to bust through it, you can. It's different, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to probably end up going through this 3 or 4 times just to make myself feel comfortable. But, a lot of y'all people are already kind of set. Your grammar's real low, your English is real good. You got a good idea of what you want to write. So you can probably go through this course faster. But I'm still going to tell you, take your time. Sorry, get in.
Yeah, the videos, there's probably about 5 or 6 hours with the videos to get through, and then there's 10 essays, and then about 5 or 6 practical assignments. So you think with that.
And one thing too about this is that even the course is built around Writers of the Future, which is science fiction, fantasy, alternate history, that type of stuff, speculative fiction, basically. You can take this; it applies to writing any genre or any even nonfiction. How do you write a story in general has certain basic principles which apply no matter what you're doing. We've had people that have taken the course and said, "I just got my first story sold to a mystery magazine."
Yeah.
So that's a good point, because the course isn't set up to write sci-fi; it's just set up to make you a writer.
That's right.
And that was one of the very first things I noticed about it, because it's really, people. I can't tell you. It's just well put together. It flows real nice. Because you know how I'm anal anyway, so I like things that are easy. I don't have to think about it much. It gets into my head, and it works. It's working well for me. So I'm saying, look, if you've even got any ability to write, this course is for you. And again, for you people who have written books and maybe not have got the success you're looking for, I would recommend taking the course. Yeah. It's just a refresher. You never know. Everybody involved with this group, Galaxy Press, really know this stuff. I've met a few of them over the years now, corresponded with a few in emails, and they take their stuff seriously. They're not joking around. They're not in this for fun. They're not in this to make money on you or to rip you off. They're really legitimately here to help you. And I can't, y'all know I do a lot of interviews. I've been doing this for 20 years. It's countless interviews, several thousand now. And honestly, these are the only 2 people I've met that actually do it this way. And come on, Johnny, how many publishers have I interviewed now? 11, 12? 16, we see, better than I did. Mm-hmm. But in all this time, and all the different contests we talked about in the years, have you ever heard this? No, you haven't. It's just, y'all just do it. And the course, and the course doesn't cost any. By the way, Johnny, since we're on that subject, remember when I go mention their name, big old publisher puts out all kind of books, and how much was their course? First off, it was $500 to submit a book. $500. They had a course for writers, $1,500, and I'm gonna tell y'all, because I was friends with the guy who sent me the course, it's not as good as y'all's. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. And guys, if you know who I'm talking about, because I don't want to mention anybody's names, because I got friends over there and I don't want to start trouble, but I would recommend that you took this course over that one. And if you want to write to me in private, I'll tell you what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention it on air because they are friends of mine over there. And I don't hate them or anything. It's just Galaxy Press just has a better grip on this, or a better way of doing this. And anybody who's willing to look at stories on face value and nothing else but that says volumes about them. Well, you can't get past that. It's just, to me, it's a sticking point, because people just, most places you go, they're going to walk in, or they're going to want to interview you on Zoom or on Skype or StreamYard or whatever the hell they're using. They want to see the person. So that tells me right off the bat they're not just judging the story, they're judging the individual. And sometimes people will judge you because of the way you dress or the way you speak. A friend of mine the other day, I was at work and I was in a bad mood. He says, "I cannot believe that mouth does live radio." I said, "He does."
Joe, the one thing about the Writers of the Future is that it has been going for 37 years. So there's been workshops that have been happening every year for 37 years. And the whole premise is like, play it forward. Like, that's the whole, what's behind this contest. And the whole Writers of the Future is paying it forward. That's why all of these big New York Times best-selling authors come in and help judge the stories, because, they would have liked to have had that helping hand when they were getting started. And, some of them actually get their start through Writers of the Future. I think we have, 32 New York Times bestsellers from people that have won this contest. So, it's been around long enough that the people that have put it together know what they're doing, and that's why it's very smooth, like you said.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing. I know that, and I appreciate. Let me ask y'all, can y'all hear when I play David? Let's see. Can y'all hear me?
No.
No. Okay, I wanted to see. Sometimes StreamYard will let me play audio clips, and sometimes it won't. I'm not sure why. It's supposed to let us play them anytime we want to, but it's one of the things I miss about Skype sometimes, which we still use that too. And this is down here. I got the screen behind us tonight is, what is that, 37?
That's the next cover that's releasing this fall, and that's providing 37. Just one other point too is that the reason why we're able to do all this stuff here and maintain the standard and level that we do, Mr. Hubbard put it in his will he pays for all this stuff out of his own royalties of the money that he makes. He's still a very even though he passed away in 1986, his books still sell sufficiently that we're probably upwards of $1.5 million in awards and expenses that he's covered to pay for this contest. And because all the winners, we fly them out from wherever they are. They're put up in the hotel. This year it's going to be at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood. The big Hollywood Gala event gets put on. They're all, they're limoed into the event hall and a really fancy dinner. We have, like I said, about 20, 30 media that will attend and cover the event itself. Everybody gets a week-long workshop that we provide, and there's several dinners throughout that week, too, where they meet the judges and they get to meet the various staff here at Writers of the Future and Galaxy Press. So the whole thing is to be able to provide that experience, which any of the judges will be more than happy to say, trust me, you'll never get this again. Your next book is not going to have this as a congratulatory, publishing event. But it is for this, and it's known for being the best of the best.
Yeah, personally, I can't wait to see the event. Everything I've heard about it's been great, and it's such for people who really couldn't get there anyway else. This is just such a good thing. I can't see how this is bad for anybody involved. I mean, and Pete, again, to answer your question, actually, John just answered your question. L. Ron Hubbard pays for this. They're not selling tickets. They're not selling the TV. They're not asking you to pay for any of the events or any of the stuff on here. They don't ask you to pay for your own ticket to come out there.
We might ask you to buy a $15 book that features the winners.
Yeah. Get out there and buy the book. Yeah, well, that's the whole good.
That helps pay for the event.
Yeah. And you should be out getting the books. They're good books, a lot of good artwork, and a lot of good stories. And when do you get one book with 12 stories in it? You just don't even see that anymore. I mean, you have to go back to like the 60s, the 70s to even find anybody doing anything like that. So you're going to get a lot of good stories. I've read through a couple of them now. I've had several different volumes in the house. Matter of fact, I think 35 or 34 is laying around here somewhere. Oh, no, it's not mine. I think my daughter-in-law's got it. But I got to watch my family. Man, can I read that? Yeah, bring it back. Hell freeze up if I see that book again. But still, it's get out there and get them. People say, they're good stories. You can go out and just, buy them. And like I said, everybody's been locked up. People are cranky. Buying something that's going to be interesting, something they can read. Right now, because a friend of John's and Emily sent me a pad, Dory, and matter of fact, I was just listening to some stories the other day. I was riding into work, and I had one particular one because there's one I've been listening to, but it's a long one, so it's going to take a couple of 30 or 40 trips before I get through listening to it. But I've listened to a couple of others. It's just nice, and it's the fact that some of this is an audio book is nice as well. I don't know if any of the Writers of the Future books are in audio, but I know a lot of L. Ron Hubbard stuff's in audio now, and it's just nice when you're driving around. It's in a good voice. You can listen as you're going, and it makes it easy on me because reading and driving people's a no-no. So you got to get any ideas, but listening on your iPad plugged into your car, or Apple Play or Pad, whatever. It's nice. You can listen, you enjoy it, and you can go over to the site. Matter of fact, anybody can go get one of these pads right away while I'm on this. Where's it at? All right, it's not in here with me. But you can see the box that came in back there. I think it's actually in the other studio, but it's a great pad. A lot of good stuff on it. I would recommend if you're a big sci-fi reader or a listener for that matter, and you'd like to see some different material, because for the millennials and the Z generation, y'all are probably not aware of a lot of the material that's here. For the baby boomers and the X Geners, y'all probably are familiar with a lot of some of the material. The baby boomers should be familiar with a good chunk of it. X Geners are probably as well, but the Goodwins and just a whole genre here. Y'all just missing out on. Go listen. Go read. I mean, it's good writing. It's good stories. You'll recognize some other stuff when you listen to stories. Some of the stuff that you see in sci-fi today, you can see it was taken out of some of the stories. So I would definitely go check them out and see it, and go to their website, get the book.
This one here too. This is the one. Is the paintings right behind you? From Frank Frazetta. This book, Battlefield Earth. I know you've played the audiobook a few times.
She's going to show you.
Yeah.
Even though my camera seems to keep moving the other way. See, what, I got a ghost in here tonight? I mean, things move while we've been sitting here. But people, go get the book. I mean, really, read it. This is what I do.
Great for Father's Day. That's what I'm saying. I sent you a photo. We did an event yesterday. We had he made a surprise visit into Hollywood yesterday. I sent you an email a little bit ago.
Oh yeah, I'll check it.
With he landed on our balcony and
overlooking Hollywood Boulevard.
Overlooking Hollywood Boulevard. So we wanted to get something for his father for Father's Day. So he found this book, Cyclo Style.
It's I was trying to get in my email while we were talking. It's a good thing. So for me, I'm gonna tell you how people, I cheat when I get books sometimes. I will read the book and then I might give the book away. Unless I really, 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 really like it, then I might keep it for a while. But eventually, I'm not gonna lie. Eventually, I will give most of my books away because I want other people to read them, and not necessarily because it's something I'm interested in, just because get out there and read it.
Yeah, and what's cool about this one too is that it also has in the back. It's got, I don't know if this is backwards now, but it has about 20 different handwritten notes that Hubbard wrote that as he was writing this book. So in the back of it's got that about 20 different notes, and so you see his own handwriting stuff in there too. But what's good about this is also it's available as an ebook, and so like even right now someone can go to Amazon and order it and still get your Father's Day reading gift, or even have it for your summer reading, because it's this one here is really good because this is one it starts off dystopian and it's 1,000 years in the future, but ultimately it shows how the human spirit will prevail, and that's what makes it so good with that it actually accomplishes that. It's won many awards. The audiobook that Joe's talked about, these audiobooks, all of our audiobooks have multicast. They've got like this one here has got 67 actors in it, and this audiobook it won an audio award, the Audiobook of the Year award in 2017.
150,000 sound effects.
Yeah. Which will be airing before New Year's this year, just like it did last year. And but people, you gotta have time. Now, I'm not gonna, it's not something you're gonna be able to listen to at one time, and we will be playing it the whole time. But I would recommend that you just go purchase it, or better yet, know when it's going to come out. But take your time. See, I can cheat. I got it on the pad, so I can listen as I go. And I go back.
On Audible, it's just one credit. It's amazing. Just one credit, you can get it from Audible. Yeah, 47.5 hours.
Yeah, so go listen. I mean, man, the sound effects is fabulous. I'm not even going to lie to you, but there's a lot of good vocalations in there. I can't think of the old guy's name now. His voice is great. Damn. I think it is. I'm not. Oh, God,
the monster guy?
Yeah, we're right out of my head. He's he's definitely an older guy, but he's got a great voice. I think he is the
Charlie.
Well, there's Charlie Davis in there, and there's Corey Burton and Fred Tatasciore.
Damn, I'm going to have to go look and see who it was now. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to say just him. I mean, everybody had great voices. It's just his voice for some reason caught.
Yeah, Nancy Cartwright, who's the voice of Bart Simpson, she does the computer at the beginning of the book there.
She's Biddy, right?
Oh no, she's Biddy in this one here. That's right, she's Biddy. In the other one you're reading right now, Mission Earth, she's the computer.
Yeah. So now, people, be careful now because these things will draw you in. They will sucker you in. So make sure you got time to do it, or listen, or set it up in your life to where you can.
Be prepared when you're driving home. You just keep driving around the block.
Yeah, that's true, and actually that's true because there was a scene the other day. I was listening coming into New Orleans, and my partner called, and of course it came in over my phone in my car. So I was like, whoa, dude, I'm listening to something. He said, I'm going to tell you this right quick. So he tells me, I said, all right, look, I'm going to be about 15 minutes later. He said, why? I said, because I got to go back and listen to what I missed. And I said, he said, you're kidding me. I said, no, I'm not. I said, just, I'll be there. Don't worry, but I'll be back by 15. And I'm serious. I went and got some breakfast and listened, and I came back around the long way back to the office. And he's like, I can't believe you did. You could have just listened on the way home. I said, no, man, I was into it. I want to know what the hell happened. And I said, then I can listen to the rest on the way home. And I said, it's not the rest. And when he found out, one time when I was telling him last year about the 45 hours, he's like, what the hell? He said, well, you just sitting there. I said, no, I said, we play it in sessions. I said, we schedule a playtime. And I said, it starts like just before New Year's. It'll start 5 days out or 6 days out. No, it'll play X amount of hours each day. And then it'll play it out. The rest of it will play out on New Year's, at midnight till 5 a.m. or something. And that's a good way of listening. It's like watching a TV series. It's just, or a mini series would be a better way of saying it, but it works real well that way. We also put on War of the Worlds airs on that on one of those nights. Actually, it airs after that on New Year's, and we do a couple other, I guess you would call them drama, soap operas, or operas, whatever you want to call them. But we do a couple of them. And Rocky Horror, I ain't doing Rocky Horror because I want to be throwing rice at me. Okay, I remember Rocky Horror, people. Every time we do see Rocky
Horror. I saw it several times.
Yes, man. I remember getting pelted by rice. I'm sorry. That's the experience. That and they had the, what do they call themselves, the Rocky Horror players that used to dress up and get on stage.
Yeah.
And I was like, get the hell out. I can't see what's going on.
Yes.
Actually, I hate to say it's where I found out who Meatloaf was. And I didn't know before that. I got ignorant of that kind of stuff. But, no, we're not playing now, but we do play several besides that. So, but come out and listen, or just tune into the station. Well, I start talking about it usually around Christmas. I'll start letting people know when they're going to air. So just listen for them. Now on Halloween, sometimes, like not this year because I'm going to be out of town a couple of different times in October. But usually for Halloween, I'll like last year, I'll start it up and let it run up until Halloween night. So it'll end on All Hallows Eve. And then War of the Worlds will kick in. A couple other ones kick in. Screwballs. You mean Spaceballs? No.
Spaceballs is great.
Spaceballs is funny, but it's not going to fit into what we're doing, people. No. If you have a favorite opera like that, or whatever you want to call them, just send them to me, and we'll see if we can squeeze it in. Yeah, we'll see if we can squeeze it in. Wait, what? Oh no, I'm gonna put the site back up in a minute. I was trying to see if it would let me log in, but I think I forgot my damn code. I was just gonna let y'all see how the course went, but we still may. It's still early. What is it, Pete? No, we just said that earlier. You can't come. You want to come and write a story.
Go to writersofthefuture.com and you can watch it. And then enter a story in the contest, and then if you win, we'll fly you out here.
Just think you can get to see John and Emily in a tux. Well, John in a tux. I'm sorry, Emily in a gown. I apologize.
I don't know. It's kind of fashionable.
It's well, I got a girlfriend of mine. She likes wearing tuxes. She thinks she looks good. I don't say nothing. I stay out of it. Some things it's just better to shut up about. She don't look as good as she thinks. So I'm just telling you. She's like, no, I say, girl, you're way too skinny to be in anything. But I like to pick on my friends. What is it, Pete? No, really, no. The course is free. Where are you at? No, I'm gonna put the site back up. The course is free. I don't know where you at. Something's trying to charge you, but you're not on their site.
Not on our site.
Unless you're trying to buy a book or a pad, you shouldn't be getting charged for anything. No, hold on. I'll bring you back in just a second. Let me switch pages over. And hold on. Where were we? Well, there's L.Y. Hubbard's face. So we'll do that right quick. Share, and doom. There we are. It's easy. People are here. Let me show you. Let's go back over here right quick. Workshop registration login. Boom. There you go. Let's see right here. Just your name, your last name, your username, email, and your passwords. Do you see anything about the money on there anywhere? That's it. That's all it takes to join up and take the course. No, John's not going to come cut your fingers off or nothing for payment. Y'all are just weird tonight. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, no, this is the judges. Mm-hmm. I love this page. If you're well read or even well movie watched, you'll recognize a lot of these names as you're going through. And look here. I'll scroll through for y'all real quick. See, there you go. Yeah. Let's see. All kind of good people in there. Man, I recognize like half of these faces or more. And I'm older than a lot of y'all. What can I say? I'm not exactly a spring chicken these days. But see, it's easy. Look, you can go. Everything you need to know about this group is right here. As far as what we're talking about tonight, it's right here. Here's the inserted judges. Yes, and I know we've talked about that a little bit. But again, they're not just judging the book; they're judging the artwork.
Yeah.
So if you submit an artwork, I mean, there you go, guys. Now, that's a good question, Carolyn. So Carolyn said, "Can you win both?"
Yeah.
Yes.
See, there you go, right off the bat. Why do you think you're going to win? I know. No, actually, Carolyn, I've seen your artwork. You're a really good artist, but I don't know.
There have been a few people that have won both contests. It's kind of rare, but it has happened. And there was one lady who won. First, she won the writer contest, and then following that, she won the illustrator contest back to back. So that was unusual, but it has happened
3 times.
Damn, that's pretty good. That's this is John's podcast. We were talking about this a little earlier, right there. That's the latest edition, right there. You can find it on their site, and if you, for some reason you can't find it, it's on SoundCloud on United Public Radio. Actually, it's on all of our podcasts. Yeah. So right now we're currently on 150 podcast feeds. So if you can't find them, you just ain't looking. I tell this people all the time. People say, I can't find. I said, if you can't find this, you're not looking for us. I said, you type in United Public Radio or Paranormal Radio, we're going to come up all over the place. So I told me, I can't find you. I said, really? I said, give me your phone. I said, okay. I turned on the speaker. I said, United Public Radio. I said, here. I said, there we are. And we came up like 500 times. I said, you just weren't looking for it. I must have typing in something wrong. I said, I don't know how you get United Public Radio wrong. And yes, Kimberly, we do own International Public Radio now, too. We own the old UFO Paranormal Radio. It's part of the network. We own International Public Radio, and we own United Public Radio. It's all the same company, but they do different things. The International Public Radio only carries video only, whereas United Public Radio carries both political. United Public Radio does everything from variety on through. UFO Paranormal does not. There is no politics or God talk on that part of the network at all. It's very strict about it. It stays within the genre of the station. One, because I just don't want people to be offending people. I don't want people writing to me because this one said God existed, or this one said God didn't exist, or this one said God was an alien. We're not going there. So it's just better to leave it out of the conversation. Now, in United Public, they do talk about that. They talk about all kind of stuff on United Public because it's a variety station that carries. We even have 2 chefs that come on and talk about how to cook. Matter of fact, we got a good couillon chef, as I call him, coon-ass chef, who cooks all sorts of wonderful dishes. And he does it right there on the podcast. We have the Black Pope, as he likes to call himself. No, not because it's evil, just because he's black. I seen that comment right off the bat. So it has nothing to do with he's the dark guy. He's just black. He calls himself the Black Pope because he's very religious. And that's all fine because that's all stuff that's part of the genre, just like any other radio network. But we do keep a lot of stuff separate because, there are a lot of different things in the world today. And you can find John on all of them. Yeah, because nothing he does is offensive to anybody. No, he's very, very non-offensive person. And Margie, that's a whole different show. Yeah, sorry, you're on the wrong show tonight. That was Thursday's show, wrong show. Yeah, you can watch him on TV. You can watch the whole event on TV. It looks like it's going to be a blast. Well, I like dressing up. You know that. It's one of the reasons I used to like to do the X conference because you had to wear a suit. It was my favorite conference. Yeah, I remember I was doing a conference in Dallas year before last. And I came decked to the nines. I said, you can just wear jeans and a t-shirt. I said, not me. You can wear jeans and a t-shirt. I said, if I'm climbing up on the stage. And I told him as soon as I got off the stage, it was 3 people. There was a girl from the Houston Chronicle, somebody from the Dallas Times, and another paper there I wanted to talk to. And I knew they would be taking pictures, so I was happy I dressed nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, because don't take this the wrong way, people, but when you dress like a slob and you want, it costs you credibility. I'm just going to be honest about it. When people look at you, they judge you. Unfortunately, they do. And if you're trying to prove a point or make a point to somebody and you're dressed like a slob with ketchup all over your shirt, they're just going to ignore you. Don't have to take my word for it, but that's just how it works in the real world. That's a list of all the recent shows he's done, all the different artists. Philip wants to know, are these award winners or other people that you've been interviewing? Some of them are award winners, right?
Yeah, some of them. What I try to do is cover all aspects of illustration and art. Like the one here with Ace, the current one there, he was a Bram Stoker Award winner. He talks about how to do a proper headshot and a proper bio. The one before that, Mary Jane Pop, Where'd she go? We had Mary Jane Pop, and
What the hell happened?
I had 3 people before that who were talked about how to do interviews, so short-term interviews. The short interviews, like the 5-minute, 10-minute shows. They went over how to do it, how to prepare for it. So we did that. The one that's going up this week, Dan Dos Santos, is you won't recognize the name, but you'll definitely recognize his artwork because he's done all the covers for like Dan Brown and for just Harry Potter. He's done all the new covers for Harry Potter. He's done all the major authors. He paints covers for us. He gives a lot of tips about of art, illustration. So what I go for is having all types of guests. I also just interviewed this morning a girl who is a winner, and she's a mom with 4 kids. She's a registered nurse, and she's working on how to fit in, writing. And so we talk about how do you do that? How do you build a career as an author? So we do a lot of stuff with that to give the encouragement for the aspiring writer or artist. How do other people juggle? Because some people have a hard time dealing with all the rejections you're going to get as an author. So they talk about, I had 600 rejections. I had 500 rejections. And so when you find other people saying, like major New York Times bestselling authors saying, I had 750 rejections, they go, really? They're the most popular writer in America right now. Brandon Sanderson was ready to quit as a writer before he even got started until he got his first honorable mention certificate from Writers of the Future. So we have all these people coming in and talking on this podcast, provide tips, inspiration. I've had the publisher of Tor Publishing, the guy that created Tor Publishing, and Bain Books. I've talked about the future of publishing. I've talked about how to do contracts. All these different things that you're not going to find out other places except for either learning from Hard Knocks or somebody who's actually done it. So I try to give a really big broadshoot of guests to cover all aspects of writing and illustration. I've got next week.
A lot of winners and a lot of judges too, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you look at the sites, you got lots of people involved in this. I'm gonna put it back up in a minute, guys. What was that, Marsha? Who? No, wrong show. Where y'all at tonight? Are y'all like watching something that we don't see here or something? I'm just kind of wondering because I've seen a couple of questions tonight that's chasing prophecy. Wait, I'm telling you, watching, you must have a rerun on or something. Yeah, no, I know what show it is because I can see the questions. No, Writers of the Future, Science and Beyond. Yes. No, and Science and Beyond is not up for award. It should be, but it's not. The Centralist is, which I'm hoping like hell it's going to win, but I ain't going to count on it because we've been doing panels lately, and panels are, how can I say this? We'll just say interesting and leave it at that so I don't offend nobody, but panels is only as good as your weakest host. So when you've set 7 or 8 hosts on, it doesn't matter if 4 or 5 of them are really good because they're only going to remember the one that wasn't, or if someone's doing something dumb or something like that. Yeah, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. But the other shows are all very independent shows. So I know John was up last year for it, so hopefully he's going to get it this year. The Outer Room has a huge following. They're running about 2 million listeners a night on 2 nights a week, so they have a pretty good following. So hopefully they'll get in it. But you got to remember, guys, we got stiff competition. This isn't playtime. There's some big name shows up there with some big ass audiences. So that's why I'm encouraging everybody to get out there. We're going to be talking about this for the next week nonstop, probably next 2 weeks. So we want y'all to get involved. Go register, vote. Writers of the Future, Centralist, The Outer Realm, vote.
Yeah.
Vote. I will probably make Amelia and Michelle stop by and meet John and Emily on one of the next 2 shows we do, but just because they're up for an award. That'll be 3 Canadian women at one time. Me and John might be in trouble. we might actually be in trouble. So it's and they're releasing the Canadians now, so it could be really dangerous. Yeah, they're gonna finally. I was talking to some friends up there. All my friends on the West Coast have been free for about 2 weeks now, but a lot of people in Central and East Coast are still on lockdown. Ontario, Toronto, they're still locked down pretty good. But the girls told me they're getting ready to release them. And I had to talk with Emily and tell her she can't be sending me chocolate before. I said I got to be in good shape when I got there in October, no more chocolate. Yeah, lately, people have been sending me food from all around the planet, which I'm not complaining about. And good seasons and stuff. I was using some Montreal steak season, and so Amelia said, "Let me send you some from actual Montreal." I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try and see how it is." It's actually pretty good season. I put it on for wages earlier today. It turned out pretty good. I would. What do you mean? How can you get involved in what? Write a story. That's how you get involved. No,
or submit art or art. Three pieces of art. You can submit that too.
No.
WritersTheFuture.com. You can find all of it at WritersTheFuture.com. The forum is there. The online workshop is there. The contest is there. The books are there. The podcast, the blog. It's all at WritersTheFuture.com. That's where you can watch the event as well.
Yeah. So the site you'll see up here, and the site will. I'm gonna put it under the right now. John and Emily and Doris are featured on the website. So this show, or one of these shows, are going to replace that. And when I replace it, I will actually have the website right below it, so y'all can click it and go straight to it. But it's easy, people. WritersTheFuture.com is easy. It's one of the reasons I like everybody who keeps it easy. It rolls off the tongue. You'll remember. Yeah. If you don't, write to me at iCarCox.net and I will give it to you. No, we want you to go visit. We want you to watch. We want you to participate. We want you to buy the book. Well, no, they're not. Okay, all right, Denise, I understand what you're saying. No, they're not like most of the authors we bring on because they're not pushing their own book. This is a book for the organization. This is a book that helps you to see all the winners. Yeah, it's not like it's one story. It's not like it's an individual. We're talking 12 stories, 12 individuals. So that's what you're getting. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. And it's $15. I mean, 12 stories for $15. Where the hell can you get that at? Really? Especially in today's economy. God, everything's like went through the roof. No, man. I went to go get a manual for a friend of mine the other day. Last time I looked at it was like $22. It was $71 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I guess trees cost more, and I'm not sure what the hell's going on. But $15, it's good. It makes a good Father's Day present. It makes a good Mother's Day present. It makes a good Christmas present. It makes a good All Hallows Eve present because there's a lot of sci-fi in it.
What's also great too about it too is that because they are short stories, the maximum is 17,000 words. If somebody wants to know how big.
Oh yeah, you said that because somebody asked me that earlier.
Yeah, 17,000 words is the maximum you could submit. They average between 4,000 and 7,000. But if you don't like to get involved in big long stories, these are short little bites of all types of stories, so fantasy and science fiction, and it's guaranteed to have something that appeals to anybody who likes to read science fiction and fantasy, because there's so many different types of story in these things. And every year we win multiple awards every year from the book award shows. Mm-hmm. We submit it and we win because they really are that good.
And I would suggest getting a couple of the books, especially if you're going to put in a story to them. Yeah. Get an idea to see how they're written, what kind of stuff is in the book. I mean, nobody wants you trying to copy a story because it won't win. You want original stuff, but go get a couple of books, read, see how they're writing the stories, see what it is that's catching these judges' attention. I mean, you want to get in there, so it can't hurt you. That's for sure. Yeah. I would go take the course, and I would get some of the books, and I would read through them, and at least you'll have a heads up or a better chance. Nothing's going to guarantee you're going to win. Whoever wrote that, no, that doesn't
That's
work.
Good advice, though, Joe.
Yeah, so
it really is as a family. I guess maybe I don't use that word that much, but a lot of the winners do, and a lot of people that participate, the Rise of the Future family, because everybody's there to help each other along, And like I said, on the forum, on any of the different things that you see that you see there, all those different activities, if someone gets into dissing somebody or being negative stuff, they're invited to leave. They're not welcome back, because that's not what this is about. There's plenty of that stuff that you can find out in the rest of the world if you're looking for someone to give you a bad time and to.
You're looking for trolls.
Yeah, if you want somebody to tell you that don't give up your day job, ha ha ha, and other types of stuff, or just that tends to discourage. This isn't what this is about. Ooh, the blog here, this little girl here, the Rise of the Future 37 cover revealed. On that blog that we put up there, we've also made a little video of the reveal event. We made a really cool little video of revealing the cover art. This girl here right next to it, on the pretty girl, the redhead girl. She's the podcast I just recorded today. She's the one that's the registered nurse, and she'll be in volume 37 as a published finalist, but she'll be a winner now in volume 38. She kept on writing. She entered 16 times in a row, got 4 honorable mentions, and finally then started getting where she was a silver honorable mention. Then she was a finalist, and then now she's going to be a published finalist, and then she became a winner.
No, that's right. Preston's going to be there. How many? What was it? 35 times each.
47 times.
Damn.
Yeah.
Preston Dillon's a friend of ours from a different genre. He's been on the show a few times. And we were talking just before he won the award. Him and I were talking about it being on there. And then the next time I talked with John and Emily, I found out he had won. And then next time I talked to him, he was talking about the experience. Now, what's funny about this is I will probably have him on the show after October. Probably will set up a couple of people to come on after, because that way y'all can feel the experience for yourselves. Right. But I'm telling you guys, I would submit, and like Preston will tell you himself, 47 times before he won, it's worth it. Whether how many ever times it takes you to get there, it's worth it. Don't give up. And besides, people, there's nothing worth having in life is worth giving up on. So let's just be honest about it. Sometimes you don't get what you want right away, and sometimes you do. But in my case, it never comes easy. It's just how it is. So if I was one of the people that gave up and everything, I'd have absolutely now probably living in a box somewhere on the side of the road. Instead, I have 3 homes, and I travel a lot, and I get to do radio and TV and construction, which I enjoy my life a lot, actually.
Awesome.
Matter of fact, I was thinking about Dory the other day because I was in Alabama. I was going to give her a call, but I was in a big hurry. One of these days, I'm going to be cutting through her. I'm going to take her out to lunch here in Atlanta. It's because I go through it a lot. I mean, I was in Dolphin Island a couple of weeks ago. Found out where she's got a place, and well, I ain't going to say where it's on the radio, but the place where I go on a regular basis fairly frequently. Mm-hmm. I'm in Alabama or Florida at least once a month, sometimes. Wow. Well, we do a lot of investigation work down there, and we do a lot of radio and TV down there as well. It's an interesting. Alabama, I hate to say it, is the best kept secret in the United States. These people live like you wouldn't believe. When you think of Alabama, you hear somebody talk about Alabama, you think some back-ass words, rednecks, living in the woods, ain't got no teeth, ain't wearing shoes.
Pick up trucks.
Yes, but when you go to Alabama, Gulf Shores and Dolphin Island, these are very nice places. The beaches are beautiful. The condos are fabulous. The homes are $2-3 million. Most people don't realize this, but a lot of the top secret military stuff is done in Alabama, and I found out why just recently, about a year ago. I was talking to a gentleman. He told me, he said, no, Joe. He said, for some reason, he said, people in Alabama, he named off 3 states. He said, you could put a bullet to their head or in their wife, and they still wouldn't give up the secret. He said, that's why we locate here. He said, there's nothing that will make these people talk. He said, they are pure, 100% pure, faithful to their company and their country, and that's just how they are. And the state itself is much wealthier than people realize. And there's a lot. And then it's got the best of both worlds. Northern Alabama has beautiful northern parks with gorgeous mountains and beautiful chalets overlooking gorgeous lakes, snow-filled areas. The bottom is the Gulf Coast. In between, the place is just a really pretty state. And you know what? They don't like tourists. They don't want you to come to their state. That's why they don't talk about it. I'm not kidding you. One of the news anchors that called into one of my shows and said, Joe, stop talking about our state. He said, I've noticed something about you. He said, every time you talk about a place, it starts to get busy. And in his way, because there's places we go do investigations that you'd never see anybody for decades. Once I've talked, you can't go back now. They're full of people now. Matter of fact, in some of these places, they even put up lights because they got so many people. He's like, he said, stop it. He said, we don't want you. He said, we barely tolerate other Southerners coming here. I was like, what? And if y'all from California, don't go, man. They might put y'all somewhere special. Oh God, if you're from New York, they're going to definitely put you somewhere special. I'll tell y'all this too, ladies and gentlemen. If you drive through the deep south with New York tags on your plate, expect to be stopped no less than 5 or 6 times. So I wouldn't carry anything illegal. I'm just telling y'all. I went to Utah. I'm from the deep south. I went to Utah to go do a lecture, driving a beautiful $75,000 car, and got stopped 9 times because I had yellow seats in the car. So finally, I'm in Texas. He's just constantly out because you went and searched my car. I said, what the hell's wrong with you? He said, well, you don't sound like a New Yorker. And I said, no, I flipped open my wallet. I said, from Louisiana. Oh, well, you go on about your business. I was like, what? I had 3 different ones tell me that. He said, oh, no, we're only stopping you because you got New York tags in your car.
Wow.
So, you know it's illegal. He said, yeah, but you can't prove it. I was like, so now, I'm going to tell you a little secret now. When I'm traveling, I always have my Facebook Live on or something live on. Same thing when I'm out in the swamp. Because we had a game warden threaten us in the swamp one night. And I told him, he started telling us all this crap. And let me tell you something, dude, before you get yourself in trouble. You know you're going streaming out live on Facebook right now, right? All of a sudden, he come the sweetest, nicest guy you ever did meet. I mean, he was being a real you-know-what before that. And we weren't doing anything. We do a lot of filming in the swamp at night. Honey Island is full of a lot of weird stuff. Matter of fact, just about a decade ago, we were out there. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. We pulled in, and we got to videotape a fawn being dropped live. So, the dealer was dropping the fawn right there. We videotaped the whole thing. Didn't even bother. Didn't even care we were there. I've seen big cats back there. I've seen herds of hogs up to 300 or 400 roaming around. I've seen alligators out there as long as my car. So it's just a cool place to go. But every now and then people want to get stupid. So we keep everything live now. Matter of fact, I was in somewhere. Oh, I was at the hospital, and I had my phone in with my camera on. And he said, you can't film in here. I said, why? He said, well, it's illegal. I said, no, it's not. I live in Louisiana. It's not illegal. I said, Louisiana and Mississippi is a one-state record law. Well, what does that mean? I said, it means I can record you without telling you, and I'm live. I can use it as long as I'm not using it to make something live or a lie. I said, but yeah. I said, you better go check that out. I said, we don't have to have your permission to record, and there's no way you can tell us we can't record. And then I had a company tell me one time, oh, you can't record us. I said, are you recording me right now? He said, yeah. I said, well, I can record you too. I said, in case you didn't know, if you work for a public stock-held company, you're an employee of this. I'm not recording you. I'm recording the representative of the company. And they didn't realize that. So I just tell you those people because there's a lot of ways to save yourself grief out there. And if you know your media, just like you know your writing or your audio or your video, you can save yourself a lot of grief in a lot of areas. But getting back to the real subject at hand, submit your story. No, don't submit it to me. We just showed you where to send it a minute ago. No, submit it to writersfuture.com. Write it, send it. 17,000 words. I'm going to say 17. That's not a short story. It's a novel.
It's a novelette. You go to the Enter Writer Contest. If you're a writer, you can go to Enter Writer Contest. And if you're an artist, you go to Enter Illustrator Contest. And there you create an account. And then you just upload your story or you upload your art. And the computer then assigns a number to it so that when it goes out to the judges, they'll see what the story is and the number assigned to it. But you maintain all your rights to your work, to your illustrations, and to your writer, and to your stories. You maintain rights to it, which nobody else does that.
Nobody else does that.
No. Yeah. So and then when the story's published, we'd like to have our book come out first, but then you can totally sell it again. So we have a lot of times the stories get sold again after it's been published in Writers of the Future.
Yeah, people, I would definitely go get it. And again, like we were talking about earlier, if you want to write and send them in, I would purchase 1 or 2 or 3 of the books just to get a good idea, just to get a feel of how things are running. Or if you're having trouble with ideas, you might go through 17,000 words. I'd be here for 10 years. Don't even go there.
That's the maximum. I mean, the average is like 5, 6, 7,000.
Is that package on the Register 7-book package?
No, it's a Galaxy.
There is a special, just for anybody's interested in this, because you've been talking about, if you go to galaxypress.com, there's, if you go to galaxypress.com and then on the...
in the shop,
we've got a special 7-book package of Writers of the Future that you can get all 7 books for like
$30.
$30. It's like it's insanely good. It's but you just go to galaxypress.com if you can.
Let me see if I can jet. We're going to switch out here, so let's move that out the way. Let's remove that out the way. Let's stop that one, and let's see if we can let us share the other one now. Share screen. I love talking to myself because I'm going crazy. Boom. There we go. Look at that. All right, now we're on the other screen now.
Yeah.
So go to book, and then right at the next to the bottom is Writers of the Future.
There it is. Boom, there y'all go. Look, guys, I'm going to scroll up here. Ooh, look at the books, too. Man,
Yeah.
I love all this artwork. Of course, this is stuff that I like to look at. But
These are earlier volumes, and then there's, I think it's
$8. That's like giving the damn thing away.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you scroll down, I think the packet is there.
People, do y'all know what $8 in today's world is? That's,
Yeah, that package you just got right there.
Sorry.
7-book package for $30.
That's a good deal, people. I mean, these are good deals any way you look at these. And not just, I mean, it's worth buying these books just for the artwork. I mean, there's really a lot of stuff in here to look at. And if you're someone who really visualizes like I do, it's just a nice feature. You can come in here and this is on galaxypress.com. You go to shop and just look for Writers of the Future, and you have these are all the different books, and we also have the special there for these are all the trade paperback. The last 7 books that we released, it's marked down from $121 to $60 for all those. Now, if y'all gonna be writers, this is the pack I would tell y'all to go buy.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go get the cheaper one. That's fine. I'm not telling you what, but I said if you're really gonna do this and you really want to get into this is the group I would go buy.
Yeah.
Like I might get this for a friend of mine because it would probably help him with what he's trying.
Well, why don't you just click on that little button? We can show people how it works.
Hey. It's so easy, people. No, y'all ain't getting to see my credit card number. Who the hell said that? That ain't never gonna. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I only use 2 things online. I have actual cards designated for online shopping, and I have, of course, other accounts like PayPal and Stripe and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I'm not real trusting on the internet. I mean, I'm trusting of it, but not like that kind of trust. So I mean, y'all just scroll through here, scrolling down. This is this is a list of the past judges, huh? Damn.
Yeah.
And they just scroll on down, and that list goes on forever. And we got more down here to look at. See, these are the 2 different packages we were just talking about. You can click on either one and go on now. What else was I looking for there? Oh, there you go, add to cart. Okay, there it goes. Bam. So there y'all go. And you just go to view your card. See, bloop. I told y'all I get to see my credit card number. Y'all can forget it. Oh, yeah, I know you want to see it. I bet you do. It's not going to happen. But the credit card y'all want to get anyway, trust me. But anyway, there you go, guys. It's really easy. You just, what do you mean about a coupon? Well, I don't know where you get a coupon. But you don't need a damn coupon. It's already half off. Don't be stingy, people. Yeah, I know y'all a little tight right now because of COVID, but life's back now. No more COVID. I don't want to hear that excuse anymore. I'm just telling you, I don't want to hear no more COVID excuse. But see, and you just click proceed to checkout, and you're ready to go. So you can come here, just fill out the information. Bam, 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 and then
And you can't get this deal on Amazon. This is only on our site. That's why we did it on our site, because we give all the discounts to the consumer instead of going through Amazon and getting those discounts. So that's why you can't get that on external sites.
And you see, they take everything you need, major credit cards and PayPal. So no excuses. I'm sorry, guys.
All the volumes are also available on Amazon if you want to get just one book.
Yeah.
Also there.
But coming to their site, it's not cutting in. Amazon's making enough damn money, people. Jesus. Bezos, I mean, his wife's made so much money, she's giving billions away. I'm thinking about going to see if I can court this one. My wife won't mind. If I buy her a Mercedes, give her $500 million, she'd be all happy. She wouldn't have to put up with me. She'd be like, give me some money. No, seriously, I think she's giving away $7 billion now.
Wow.
So she's giving away a lot of different things. She's up and coming author. She's doing minority groups, all sorts of stuff she's giving it out to. Well, she got a lot. I think it was $60 billion. No one knows for sure. I'm just speculating. But, he was worth $340 billion when they divorced. So, no, she didn't get half. Somebody said she got either 4 or 8, like 6 or 10% is what she got. It's a lot of money, trust me. You start talking billions, it's a lot of money. But yeah, that's another way y'all can get into it. But you go in here, see all of the stuff's in here. You can come in. I was going back to look at something else. Let me scroll back out here backwards. It's another easy site to use. And there you go electronic. Boom, look at that.
Yeah, that's what you've been listening to.
Yes. See, I've been listening to this pad down here, and it's got every damn thing on it, and it's mama. And it's just nice. It's nice to have. What do you mean? Oh, because it's Apple? No. Before we get into that, just so you know, people, you can buy an adapter for your Apple. Okay, I know everybody keeps telling me, oh, you can't plug in a headset, but you can. They make an adapter. If you don't want to go wireless, which I know a lot of people don't like going wireless because they don't like things in their ears, they do make an adapter for your iPad or for your iPhone, and you can plug a 3.5 millimeter jack into it. Yeah, Mike, that's the storm coming by my house. That's all the noise you hear. It's rain and wind hitting my windows in the studio. Yeah. Well, there's actually 3 big windows in the studio because I took a beautiful view outside, but not so good when you've got hurricanes coming. Now, you can get any of these pads. They're good prices. No, you're not paying $3,000 for the damn pad. You can go buy the pad for $1,000 or $800. It's the material on the pad is what you're actually. Tell me honest about this. They're giving you the damn pad. You're paying for the material.
There's hundreds of books and audiobooks on each of those.
Hold on a second. You know what? I'll be right back. Y'all talk this. I'll be right back.
So just what he was talking about. In each of these things here, the ePulp, the AirBook, and Audio Deluxe, that has a couple hundred audiobooks and stories on there. So you get all the audiobooks. So basically what you're paying for...
Okay, I know it's rude jumping up in the middle of the show.
Okay, you're going to show the thing. So I was just explaining them. So these are the... So that's the iPad. That's the far right one. That's the ePulp, AirBook, and Audio Deluxe.
Hey, see? Now, when you click on down here, where's it at? I got it somewhere right there. Oh, no, that ain't it. Apparently, I went to the wrong place. Hey, what do you mean you ain't charged? Oh, I didn't have it plugged in. Sorry, guys. What did I do? Am I moving them again? Oh, there we go. So, get y'all up where y'all can see it. Now, this is just the beginning, guys. It's all through this pad. I mean, I can just run through here for hours. All you do is click and go, click and go, click and go. Everything works great. It's simple. Some of these are for reading. Some of these are audio. Like this one, as you can see how it's set up. And this is another feature I like about it. So if you look, it's broke down in sections. So you can listen to it in 5, 10, 15, 20-minute clips. Now, you can hit play and it'll play through flawlessly without stopping. But you have the feature like, Green God 1, Green God 2. It's just the way it's broke out all the way through. It runs in anywhere from 30 seconds to 7 or 8 minute sections. I like that because when I'm traveling or doing something, or like I was telling them earlier when I was talking about my partner, it allows me to stop at a point and come back. It plays clean. The audio is good. You'll enjoy just tons and tons of stories. Now, I don't know how much is on which of these pads. I actually have to go look. I'm telling you, this is the one you want to get. Now, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, I understand. But they all are good, and you're going to get tons and tons of material. I'll be 2-3 more years before I get through all of this. A lot of y'all. And I've been listening steady. When we go on road trips, I click it into the phone, which Linda loves it because I'm not listening to political or stupid radio of some kind. So she's happy. Or I'm not listening to Coast to Coast. So, anything that she'd rather not listen to. But I would suggest just getting one. And, you can go buy a book, but this is all of material in one place. And it's really nice. Now, if you lose it, you're going to be upset, so I didn't show the damn thing. But really and truly, it's the way to go. Lots of good stories in here. The one, this was right here, the one that popped up is the Green God. But there's just tons of stuff in here. I haven't even seen everything that's in here yet. I've had it for a couple of months now. And when I'm scrolling through it, there's just so many different stories in here. And
he wrote science fiction, adventure, military fiction. He did a lot of military fiction because he was a naval lieutenant, and he was also in the Marine Reserve, so he has a lot of great stuff on that. He wrote a lot of
that's the Mission Earth section, guys.
Yeah, that's when it's going to be coming out later this year. That you're
y'all can't hear that, by the way, so that's why it's not playing. That's from being spoiled rotten like me. I'm just saying, guys, there's advantages to knowing people sometimes. That's it. I'm not going to even tell y'all. Y'all have to wait till it comes out. But there is literally a ton of material in here for y'all to go through. Lots of good stuff. Stuff to read and there's stuff to listen to. So whichever way you want to go. And I found out with this pad, if it's on a read, if it's a one to read, I can actually put it on a reader and it will read it to me. So I can listen to all of it if I want to, instead of having to read any of it. So I would get them, guys. It's just a thing I would do. Also makes great presents. Personally, I think you should be buying these for your kids. They need pads anyway for school, so just like a dual purpose. You can get them this, and they can read and listen, and maybe learn something at the same.
But one thing you've observed too by now, I'm sure, listening to several of these stories, that they're PG. There's no profanity, no sex in the stories, but they're great stories. They're high interest stories, but there's just no sex or profanity. So it's great for young adults and for kids, as well as we found people in the military and the grandparents love these stories too, because they're just such high interest stories.
Yeah. 344 stories plus 264 hours of audio. That's what is that? 600 hours. 600 stories. Guys, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Especially if you're a sci-fi freak.
Yeah.
You're missing out. Well, no, Jen, you can go right to the website, right where I'm at, click on and purchase it. The reason I brought this up is because a friend of mine the other day, first of all, my business partner was trying to get my pad from me the other day, bastard. And I told him, no, get your own. And he said, I said, no, go get your own. I said, you can afford it. I said, I don't know how much money you make. I don't want to hear that whiny stuff. But for people who can't afford them, there's lots of books to choose from. There's lots of ways to get them. You mean ebooks? Are they available in ebooks?
Yeah, they're all available as ebooks. You can get them all on Amazon. They're all there. Or Kobo if you're in Canada. They're basically everywhere. We've got them on Amazon. Pretty much every country where Amazon exists, you can get all these stories.
So, right now, guys, we're on the Galaxy Press site. Before we were on the Writers of the Future site. It's two different sites. Same group of people, just two different sites. Yeah, Galaxy Press is John and Emily. Yeah, I know y'all are confused. I can tell by reading the text. You're just confused. Go ahead.
Galaxy Press publishes Writers of the Future. So for the contest and for all of the Writers of the Future activities, we have a website for that. That's what the Writers of the Future is. Galaxy Press is the publisher who publishes Writers of the Future. That's why there's two different sites.
Yeah, you can't buy anything from Writers of the Future. Writers of the Future has nothing for sale on it. It's all strictly entering the contest, signing up for these different things. When you go to the Galaxy Press, that's where we will sell books from. The Writers of the Future is strictly about the contest and all the different things that have been provided by the contest to help writers and artists.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, no, Chris, I never heard from him. No, you're talking about the show we did with Dory on it. No, I never heard from him. No, he called in. He didn't actually call in. He wrote in and said he was interested, but he never wrote me back. He sent me one email suggesting, because we were talking about doing books in other places, and he sounded like he wanted to get involved, and then you know him, you ask him. I don't see him that often, but you see him, just ask him. No, tell me, maybe business hit a bump or something. No, we're not going to talk about how much money he was talking about, but that's not for the show anyway, but that's not even for the radio. No, we were talking that night because she helps get books into schools. And we had a couple people call in, and he was one of them, and he sounded pretty serious, but like I said, he wrote me, and then he kind of just went silent. So I actually know I gave him her LinkedIn account so he could find her that way. I'm not giving anybody's phone number without talking to him first. No, that's not going to happen. No, if he's still interested, yeah, I can put him together with John or her or anybody. Just, tell him to write in. Or call.
As of about a week ago, she hadn't heard from any of these people.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. You have my cell phone number. You can have him call me direct. I don't know. And if I knew, I would tell you. I know he was talking about it, and I know you were talking about it, but I ain't heard from nobody. It's like crickets, buddy. And you know how I get aggravated with that kind of stuff. So, no, you know my rule. Put up or shut up. It's always been my rule. It's never going to change. It's how I'm always going to be. Put up or shut up. It's that simple. Anybody can talk a good talk, but if you're going to get involved, get involved. If you're not, stay out of it. That's all I can say. Well, I don't want to be rude about it, but it's just how it is. Emily's way sweeter than I. See, she'd be nice to y'all. I'm not going to be nice to y'all. Really, this is something that you can make a difference in people's lives. If you want to do it, you want to make a difference in people's lives, I'm more than willing to put you in touch with the people that you can do it with. But no, I'm not just going to randomly give you people's phone numbers. That's never going to happen. It's bad business. I wouldn't have been in business as long as I was that stupid. You can do that all you want. If you want to go buy pads and give them to people for credit, that's your entirely own business. Nobody cares. Just go buy whatever the hell you want to go buy. Yeah. What do you mean? Can you buy a pad and have it uploaded?
It comes to you already uploaded with everything on it.
Wait. What do you mean? You don't like Apple? Is that what you're saying? You're confusing me at this point. You know what? Go to their website and write to them. How's that? Yeah, you can go to either one of their websites and write to them. You can go on the one we're on right now, which is Galaxy Press, or you go to Writers of the Future. Yes, they have contact information on both websites. One
thing that some people do, it doesn't really save you any money, but you can do it if you don't want to use an Apple. You can have whatever device you want, and then you can go to Amazon and download, buy each individual audiobook and download it and put it on your device too. You can do that.
Yeah, that's a good thing, John. If y'all have got a Fire Pad, yeah, boom, you can go right on Amazon. Yeah, they're always trying to stick stuff on my Fire Pad. That's why I don't like the damn thing. I'm not going to go there. I don't like the Fire Pad. No, I'm not a big fan of it. But yeah, John's absolutely right. Though, if you're especially if you have one of their pads, it's easy to download books. They send me for some reason, Amazon sends me 10 free choices a month. It's something I did for them in the past. But you can go over there and download it all you want. No, this is New York Times best-selling science fiction is what we got up on the page right now. Mm-hmm. And again, yes, you see the book, you see the picture right behind me. And no, it's not going anywhere. Oh, no, I already offered to buy the damn thing because I won't put it up on the thing. And then Glenn wanted me to put it up for auction. Well, because I had it a couple of weeks ago, we're getting off topic, but I had it a couple of weeks ago and I had it sitting, it was turned around. You could see what was written on the back. So he's like, oh, no, yeah, put it up. I said, it ain't going nowhere. It's staying right where it's at. Sooner or later, it'll have a little light underneath it, lighten it up. No, I like it. Whatever. I am going to give some books away. I don't know which ones I'm going to get yet. I'm definitely going to get a couple of the ones that are coming out now. I'm going to get last year's and this year's. I'll probably buy 5 of each or something. And then I'm going to give those away. Yes, but I'm not going to give them away until probably the end of September and the first 2 weeks of October, more than likely. Well, I want it fresh in y'all's minds for the award ceremonies coming up, so y'all sit and watch and listen and see who's in the books. That's why the 2 of them right now represent the 2 years. Well, they didn't have it last year because of COVID. Yeah, California wouldn't let nobody in last year. It was COVID. No, it wasn't going to happen. But this year, so I want to give away both volumes. That way people know they'll be able to look at the stories and know who they're watching. And remember this, I meant to say this earlier. It's more than just winning. When you win with them, you actually have the opportunity, your book may get picked up. I mean, first off, these are a lot of big-name judges here. You don't know who they know or what's going on, and you never know when something's going to stick out in somebody's head and say, you know what, this might make a good movie, or it might make a good this, or it might make a good documentary, or it might make this. But you're never going to find out if you don't submit and try. That's bottom line. You can talk a good talk all day long, but if you don't send that story in, it's never going to happen.
That's right.
What do you mean? I'm not being mean. If y'all think I'm being mean tonight, y'all just don't even know. Lord have mercy. So far, I've liked all the stories I've heard. Yeah. But I like sci-fi. And L. Ron Hubbard kind of writes or in a fashion that well, first off, guys, I'm technically a baby. I don't know. Some people say I'm an ex-gen, some say I'm a baby. Whatever I am. It's just, I feel comfortable with the style of his writing. It's kind of like Gene Roddenberry. I feel as comfortable with, or Arthur C. Clarke. I feel as comfortable with all these guys. And no, that's political. We're not going to talk about Arthur C. Clarke's life. Yeah, no, that's political. No. He was more than a writer. Most writers are more than writers. They usually have other things. You remember, people, not everybody who writes their first book makes enough money to live on. So, a lot of times they have other careers or other things in their life. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I mean, but again, if you don't submit, you can't win. You're not going to be put in contact with these people. You're not going to get to meet John and Emily, which is worth going out there on itself. Aren't they both as nice as can be? We all know I interview a lot of people. But no, I mean, you have to submit the story or the artwork. I know I talk about stories a lot, but really you have to submit either one. And you know, Sherry, G, John, all of y'all are fabulous artists. Submit some artwork. Actually, G and Sherry, I've seen y'all do better work than some of the stuff I've seen win. So submit. If you don't submit, you can't win. I remember when you submitted the little mouse picture. There's a friend of mine, by the way. So about 20 years ago, they used to have this little company that you would, redo the picture and send it in, right? And if it was good, they would offer you a course or something like that. Not only did they pay for her to go to school, she ended up working for a big company doing industrial art, and she makes a damn good living at it now too. I don't know why. Oh wait, she'd be considered a professional though. You can't submit. Oh no, that's right. You can't submit. I just realized that while we were talking. I'm sorry. You can't. You're out. You're in a doghouse.
Well, if you go to look at the rule, go to the website and look at the rules because it's up to a certain amount of publications.
Yeah.
Well, that happens. Sometimes people will enter the contest, and there's a thing called proing out, where sometimes like Kevin Anderson, who's probably one of the best-selling authors in America right now, science fiction, he entered, I think, 17, 18 times, and then he proed out, meaning he sold too many stories professionally so he could enter the contest no longer. So that'll happen too. Just you get better and better and better when you keep on entering the contest.
Yeah, she doesn't actually do artwork for herself. She just does it for companies. But she works with them directly, and they send her what they want designed, and she puts it together. And she does it for some pretty big works. But but I don't think you're going to qualify. But you can go read, like Emily said to go do. You should go read the rules. But for some reason, I think you're going to be outside their guidelines. Well, you see, you should have done this years ago. You might have had them. You could be retired now. See, you messed up. What can I say? You messed up. But no, I know we're going to get out of here in just a minute. Look, guys and girls, remember, People's Choice Awards are coming up. We're going to be talking about this. We have 2 other shows coming up with John and Emily. We're going to be talking about this a lot. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. The 3 shows have enough followers to win. Y'all just got to get out there and go vote. They have far enough followers to win. Well, if you look at John's traditional audience and his podcast audience, he's doing 400,000 to 500,000 a week with us right now. So his podcast average, I think, 225 when I got him on Mondays, actually quite a bit higher on Saturdays. And his archives are anywhere from 100 to 300,000. Currently, the one that just came down broke 300,000. The one that's up right now, I think, is at 100-something thousand right now.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, you can find them on galaxypress.com, writersofthefuture.com, sorry. You can go there and find the podcast there. You can also find it on any of United Public Radio's archive sites. It's available there.
Yeah, just type in Writers of the Future on any of your sites there. Just type Writers of the Future, and you'll get all 127 different episodes.
Yeah, we have everything he's posted, plus everything he does weekly. And matter of fact, there was a trailer running earlier for the next one. Glenn, submit. John, submit. Y'all in the Pal Talk chat room tonight. I told y'all about this. Y'all need to start going to the YouTube chat room. It's easier because I can see y'all in the on the board and stream. StreamYard. Yeah, I was going to call it something else there for a minute.
Were you going to play that video I sent you? That 60
Oh yeah, actually, it's going to play as we're going out because we're getting ready to close. And I'm glad you said that because I was going to forget about it. So I'm glad you said it. Yeah, I queued it up yesterday. I put it in the queue.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I like the video, and then it just caught a couple of the hosts off guard because they're not used to me playing promos. But what's going to happen is it's going to start playing beginning and ending, along with their 30-second audio promos for their shows. And I know Folgers and them get ready to get one put in too. But guys, y'all going to hear this in just a second, so y'all don't disappear on me, guys, because it runs for about a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sign off now. Be sure to come check out writersofthefuture.com. Check out galaxypress.com. If you want to get the books, galaxypress.com. If you want to submit, or if you want to submit your story, writersofthefuture.com. If you want to take the course, writersofthefuture.com. The blog and the podcast and the forum is all there, so y'all can go over there and check that out. No, Emily's the boss. Oh, no, hell no. But she's like, John's like, he's have to change. I keep telling you about these Canadians. Y'all don't believe me about these Canadians. Y'all gonna find out. Soon enough, I'm going to have 3 of them. Yeah, I have 4. Yeah, we already have 5, 6, 7 Canadians in a network. Yeah, 7. Yeah, I know she called the Canadian radio. Well, it's tough because we've got two guys from Britain, one from Scotland, one from South Korea, and then the group of American hosts that are on. Damn, Americans might be outnumbered. I'm gonna have to relook at this. Anyway, guys, y'all gonna get to hear this promo run, and then we're gonna turn y'all off, and then John and I gonna talk. But remember, Kathy Dusky will be coming up in about 15 minutes with Quantum Leap. Stay tuned for that. And good night, guys. Anything you want to tell these crazy people?
Happy Father's Day, and definitely take advantage of, if you haven't done it yet, this book here makes an amazing Father's Day gift, and I highly recommend you check it out, as well as these. After all, I'm the president of Galaxy Press, and I'd be fired if I didn't tell people to go buy the book.
So, real quick, since John brought that up, this is what I'm gonna do. Y'all go to iCarCox.net. I'm gonna give 5 of their new books out. I'm gonna go purchase them as soon as we get offline. So this is what I want y'all to do. I'm gonna give. Hold on, let me write it down so I don't forget. To the first person who writes me, to the 5th person who writes me, to the 25th, the 50th, and the 125th person, each one of y'all will get a book. But I want you to write in, write a thing about writersoffuture.com, send it in to me on those numbers like that, and I'll send it to you within as soon as I get them, I'll put them back out to y'all.
Awesome.
Okay, so do that. Y'all got it right now. I had to write it down because I would forget because my brain's fried. Anyway, we got to go, guys. Stay tuned for Kathy, and here comes.
Here we are in the Writers and Illustrators of the Future Lounge at the Author Services Building in Hollywood. It contains a gallery of the writer and illustrator judges, a selection of the awards the contests have received, a library containing novels and art books published by winners and judges, and a selection of photos of some of our beloved keynote speakers and guests. For nearly 4 decades, L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Future contest has discovered and nurtured a steady stream of new authors and artists who have changed the face of science fiction. Chosen by an impressive panel of judges, drawn from the biggest names in the genre, contest winners are given the best possible foundation for a long-standing career. Now in its 3rd year, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast continues to provide advice and tips from contest judges, industry professionals, and contest winners for writers and artists wanting to take their next step, along with needed inspiration to keep on going. If you are already a regular listener of this podcast, I thank you. If you are new to it, I welcome you to the weekly installment of the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast. This is John Goodwin, your host.
Ooh, John looking good.
Your host.
Ooh, John looking good.
what we're built for, because every time this happens, our consciousness rises immediately. It doesn't have to wait. The conscious rising is immediate, So if they disclose, okay, people don't like it, they won't go along with it. They'll go live in the dark ages. We'll split. Humanity will split. It's split before. And that's how I see it. I don't know if that answers your question, but...
Yeah, well, I actually agree with what you're saying there, because I've got 4 children, and my eldest is 21. My youngest is 5. And obviously there's 2 in between. So over the years, one's 21, one's 13, one's 10, one's 5. And I have noticed that my little boy especially, it's like everything's super fast. It's not just his hyperactivity. It's almost like he's geared up for the future that he's going to live in already. That kind of, it's not like his selfishness, but that sort of expecting things to be now. When he's asked something, or when, it's like, why isn't it already happened? And I go, God, it's not the future yet, But it is almost like because of the way that they are, the way that they have sort of got different speeds of personality. My youngest is definitely the most rapid, and I've actually thought this myself, that he's running at the speed that things are going to be running at in the future, Well, I don't know if that's true, I won't know until the future, but I have actually thought that myself.
Yeah, no, definitely things are speeding up. Definitely we're changing to fit in. A lot aren't. A lot will fall by the wayside, but hey, that's evolution. It's out of our control.
Yeah.
We are being watched. We are put on this planet. We are being upgraded. We are being mentored. We are being, people can talk bad about abductions, sure, because maybe those people are just not ready to face, whatever is happening to them. But a lot of them are being shocked into the way things will be.
Yeah, it's like we're being pushed past the point of fear. Into this kind of acceptance of almost anything. If I saw Tom and Jerry walking down the street in full cartoon form, I would probably just watch it and think, what the hell's going on there then, instead of screaming and going, oh my goodness.
It's an open-mindedness, You're really open-minded, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel that I am totally free.
Yeah.
I'm not bound by hate. I'm not bound by racism. I'm not bound by ideologies, whether it be political or whatever. I can just float through everything, and everything just bounces off of me because it's just not important. It's like I'm looking down on all, but not to say I'm better than people. I don't even have an ego like that. It's just that a lot of times I have to sit and ponder. I don't get it why all these people are this way. Why they just dwell on these hateful or whatever it is, whether it be money or they obsess about something else. It's just, that's almost alien to me.
It's part of their identity, though, isn't it?
Yeah, does that make sense? I mean, I don't. I feel like and when I do get upset with people that are like that, I feel like I've just wasted, an hour or whatever engaging with them, and it did absolutely no good, because that's where they are in their mindset until they have something happen, evolve, or whatever, Like you said earlier, a few minutes ago, Neil, people need something to jar them. I believe there's signposts or markers in everybody's life, or most people, where they'll live up to a certain point, and then something will happen. It could be really small, and it will actually propel them into the next marker. Where they go with their life, how they think. I think there are those things that happens in everyone's life that pushes them along like that. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I just try not to come to any end statements when it comes to any of this.
Yeah, I say that I follow lines of thought. These are lines of thought. This is something that I'm musing. I've no conclusions about anything, but I do have to follow narratives to the end. Say, like, sometimes I think these experiences are all military. Sometimes I think they're all ET. Sometimes I think interdimensional. Sometimes I think all of the above. Sometimes I think I'm a mental case and none of it's real. But to go to the end of anything to find out if it's true, you have to follow it as if it is. So I say all kinds of things, and I'm sure that I'm quite contradictory sometimes. But at the end of the day, I don't really know what it is for sure. So we have to follow these narratives and these lines of inquiry. But we have, as having the minds that we've got, we don't have a box to think outside of. There's just no box, so there's just us.
Yeah.
Our worldview is not the top of the food chain, like a lot of humans have that kind of worldview. The centre of the universe is humanity. I don't have that, you don't have that, Neil doesn't have that. It's more of a kind of, I'm this tiny thing on a tiny ball in a massive load of space, and oh my God, what's out there?
And like we were saying about with on earlier shows about if we explode a nuclear bomb, if there are other realities around us or dimensions that share our same space but in a different way that we don't understand yet, those types of things could very well affect them.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, once we start blowing up nuclear bombs, all of a sudden we've got an explosion of UFO sightings, a lot of different things going on. We all know the whole history of that.
Yeah.
But to me, I think it's human nature to want an answer to things like why we're here, why the earth, and all that, and that's why we have religion, and people grasp that because then they don't have, I don't know if they don't have to think about it anymore, or it's a sense of peace and gratification, and where they can all come together as a group and all have the same opinion and that sort of thing. That herd mentality about how things are.
Well, I think Neil's got a really good point of view. From having lived in South Africa in apartheid, that this division and everything that we're talking about, but also that the fact that he was having all these experiences as well, and other people over there are, I get a lot of people asking me, why don't we hear from people of other cultures? Well, I've always said, well, if you think about it, the cultural, the kind of nature of the different cultures, especially say like in Muslims, you couldn't say as a female Muslim that the jinn have been messing about with your lady bits, And when it comes to the African countries, I didn't really know what was going on there. So it is highly unusual, but the fact is, and Neil will probably be able to tell me more about this, is that they accept it. They accept all of this as being part of life. We are the only ones that don't. You must have seen that massive contrast there, Neil.
Yeah, even here in Hong Kong, it's they talk about dragons and stuff. I mean, what they're relating to are things in the sky that were seen and seen in the past. When you look at an orb, if a Westerner looks at an orb, he might see, a face, and he might relate it to a Jesus Christ face, And then some of the Chinese here look at them and they see a Buddha face. So culture obviously makes them package all these anomalous things that go on. They package it more towards their belief system. And the problem with belief systems is that the controllers of this planet use it to separate, divide. They also use it to keep people in bundles and groups. And they use it for influence. I mean, the World Council of Churches is basically infiltrated by the CIA. I mean, the Vatican is a very, very powerful movement, 1.2 billion minds to do or not to do something, with some guys walking around in a dress. Sorry, folks. I just don't like it. And this is part of this rebellion this rebellious gene or download that I've had, is that it's become very apparent to me that everything in this world is painted in. And the main culprits are these, like this military metaphysic. It's a total war economy out there. Everything sort of supports it. Like you have the religion, the religious pillars, you have the financial pillars, you have the military pillars, the political pillars, and you have these directors that can move with impunity in between these pillars, and they have interlocking directorships. So they're actually creating our worldview.
Yeah, it's all about money. That's all it is.
It was about money, but it's gone further than that now. You know, it's now gone to power.
Right. Well, when you get all the money, you have the power, you have the control, you make the policy, you control everybody else. That's what it's been forever. Listen, the first Christians, when they started, before Constantine took it and made it into whatever it was that they made it into, which is pretty much what we follow now, or Christians follow now, it was a very one-on-one agnostic relationship, almost like a Buddha type with the personal relationship with God. If you look at like the books of Thomas and stuff like that, they were very metaphysical. Christianity was very, 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 very metaphysical. It was very splintered. And then Constantine made it official, and they made a bunch of rules. They picked which books to be in there, and they basically made it about if you needed to talk to God or be with Jesus or whatever, you needed to go through a middleman, which was the priest or whatever, and then it was all official, and then, that's where it died pretty much, It was a very esoteric type thing, It was the actual words and teachings and lessons from Jesus and the things that he talked about, which were good, whether you're a Christian or not. The things that he said were pretty awesome. I mean, if humans followed that, we'd be in a lot less a lot less of a mess than we are now. But once you get power, money, and all that in there, everything gets corrupted down to its core.
They create shortages. You see, when you have scarcity, then everything becomes corrupt. Religions become corrupt. Everything becomes corrupt because everything is artificially short, and everybody has to fight over it. And then you meter out policy on the basis of that. Whereas if we move into this era of disclosure, and I agree to some extent that we don't need the government to tell us this, but we certainly need either more activity from the ETs, and perhaps some breakaway institutions to help us do it. Where technology is released to the honest scientists and institutions, then we will be able to move our civilization into a civilization of abundance and creation. And I mean, you just imagine if we can get free energy and we can desalinate water, there'll be one less thing to fight about. We've got to get that water and pump it into the desert, and suddenly you've got a whole new continent, a new continent of Atlantis, if you like, in the Sahara. Pumping out trees and pumping out fruit. And I mean, you could do this in Australia, you could do it in the Gobi Desert, you could do it in various parts of India. This planet has still got so much potential, and we're only talking about one strata. In other words, living just on the lithosphere. That's on the surface. I mean, how about going into the hydrosphere? Layers and layers and layers and layers down. Or how about going from the geosphere up? Layers and layers and layers. We get anti-gravity with free energy. So the possibilities are endless.
The people that own or in control of that tech and of that information would never give it up, because it's complete power. It's absolute power, the ultimate knowledge. What incentive do they have?
I can answer that for you with an example. First of all, I have a belief that some of these technology transfer programs between ETs and these black operations, some of these ETs are giving limited technology, giving some of this technology to these private corporations. I believe they're doing it on the basis of getting it ready so that one day there will be a kind of a revolution, just like they said the Berlin Wall will never come down. I believe that one day what will happen is that the military-industrial complex will be dismantled layer by layer, because you can see now people are suddenly becoming so aware of the NSA tapping your calls. They're becoming so aware of drones. They're becoming so aware that, money is a fiat currency, that it's not worth the paper it's printed in. They're becoming very, very aware of the corruption of politics, and also the senselessness of certain aspects of religion and borders and everything else. And watching and finding these planets in the Goldilocks, people are waking up. And when enough people wake up and create a critical mass, you'll start to find the children, just like General Corso, the kids of many of these people in black operations and in the military-industrial complex will turn around to their fathers and tell them, look, this is wrong. And slowly but surely, this will all, it will all peel away. What will be left for us will be the technology already developed. I believe this is a very clever plan from the ETs.
I wondered if we were being given this technology because contactees need it to be able to talk to each other. It's not necessarily just about, especially when ET are involved, because they don't seem to care whether the whole world knows that they exist or not. They just seem to care that we know that they exist. And in one of my little, Sasha's World fantasies, that they were handing this technology down because people like us really need it to connect, because things have to change. I know it's not really realistic, but
It is realistic. ADHD symptomatic people are the people who are making a change. Just the fact that you're both sitting there, you're talking, we're talking. If we didn't have this download, we weren't programmed, we didn't have this gene, who would be doing this?
Yeah.
Sitting here listening to some, some financial program, I don't know.
Watching the news.
But this is what's happening. We are waking every time we talk. We only have to wake up one person, and that one person either wakes up another person, or they influence through other people through their business, or through their activities, their hobbies, or whatever, and that's how it spreads. That's what is happening.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and a lot of people, Neil, don't. They don't talk publicly about it. I remember a couple of years ago, I was working late on a Thursday night, and I was working on the vice president of HR laptop, and she was a real professional, really cold type woman. Like real piercing eyes, someone you really wouldn't get into a casual conversation with. And we were both sitting there, and she just asked me what I did on the side, or if I, just to make conversation so everything's not silent. And I told her, I said I do a paranormal radio show, and we talk about everything, and we just we don't have any boundaries, and we just let it fly, And it was like a floodgate opened up. She's like, oh, my God, I have this twin, and we are totally connected. And she just went on. We talked for like 3.5 hours, Yeah. And I started doing that with other people. And people are taking me aside, and they're like, oh, what do you think about this? And they're almost afraid to step out, because even though they're in that box, maybe there's not a lid on the box and they can see out there, and they just don't have that kick in the butt to get them, to climb over the wall and to climb out,
Well, I've noticed the people I talk to, if I mention it, like sometimes, I didn't used to mention it a lot, and now I say it to everybody, because pretty much everybody's got a story to tell.
Yeah.
Whether it be UFOs or ghosts or whatever, everyone's got something weird in their lives. Maybe not to the extent that we do.
That's for sure. I had a situation at a lecture once. I was doing a lecture in Hong Kong, and at the end of the lecture, a German gentleman came up to me, and he was very dour, very, very, conservative. He was an electrical engineer, electronic engineer, and he sort of came along and he said, look, I have to tell you something. I said, what's that? He said, I have nobody else to tell this to. I can't in my field, but I was coming home from college one night in Germany, and I was walking across the field to get home, when all of a sudden, just above my head, and he sort of faltered a little bit, and he looked up at me again, and he said, well, it was the size of a football field. It was square, and it was gliding over me, following me, silently, and I just didn't know what to think, because I'm an engineer, and this kind of thing doesn't happen silently. Yeah. So I got home, and I went upstairs, and I looked out the window to see if it was there, and there it was, and he said, before I could even blink my eye, this thing moved at such a speed and disappeared. And the interesting point about that is that at that time, I was looking for an engineer for my energy from water program that I was working on. I had everything else, but I didn't have an electronics engineer. Today, that guy and myself, we have a company called Quantum Hydrogen, and we are producing this energy from water, not the HHO stuff you hear about, the pure hydrogen, that these units you retrofit into cars, etc., eliminates emissions and fuel saving, etc. But it just goes to show how we are, meant to connect, how we are bringing it all together, how we are changing things in the future. And that's a very good example.
Definitely. I've noticed as well that people who I thought, there's been a couple of incidences where I've been talking to people just randomly. One was a neighbour. She's started telling me how she'd seen 7 discs flying over the top of her. She even called her son out to kind of corroborate her story. She had no clue as to, what I did or my involvement in anything. It's almost like on an innate level, people know another one when they meet one, and they just come out with it, I don't know if you found that along the way, but I certainly have.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've often sitting here in Hong Kong, I'll go out somewhere or meet somebody, and out of 4 or 5 people, one of them will be staring, just maybe because my nature's different. And then suddenly you look at them staring, and then you start talking to them, and you start to see that the connection between you becomes quicker and quicker and quicker, and you get there, almost immediately.
Yeah.
That's how it works, And that's why I say the governments can't stop this. And the military-industrial complex are all vulnerable. The security agencies are all vulnerable to this change, because you cannot stop change. What's that song? Everything must change, right?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you die. You stagnate and die.
Yeah.
And listen, I think people like us, people and fellow experiencers and stuff like that, I think we're very approachable. And not so quick to judge people.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, I don't.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just something in my nature, and.
Well, I think that having ADHD as well, it's sort of like it's such a nerve-wracking